Hi, this is Sean Spencer.
And this is Gus from the TV show Psych.
Yes, and I am seeing someone listening to an independent podcast right now. That's really cool that you're doing that.
Yeah, and I see someone that isn't listening to a podcast that's done by a network or done by some big corporation. It's actually done by somebody in their basement.
I see someone in a basement all alone. It's actually kind of pathetic, Gus.
Yeah, Sean, it's very pathetic.
Well, anyway, thanks for listening to this show. Make sure to promote independent podcasts. And I predict happiness will follow you wherever you are. Who writes this?
I don't know, Sean, but I like this song.
Me too.
In between the lines, there's a lot of obscurity.
This show is clean, pretty much.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 834. Hello, this is Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, here at the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcaster Valley, California. Today, the return of the much-loved feature, Do You Know Dat?, where we'll look at some interesting recent news and facts you didn't know. Plus, we'll hear from Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. And there are more reasons why whales are so cool. Mike's Daily Podcast. And on the last show, Madam Rutabaga brought back John Deere, the engineer, and Valentino from another dimension. I sound like a fool. Mike's Daily Podcast. But I am used to that. I was watching that episode of Modern Family that takes place on a tablet entirely. A 30-minute commercial for Apple, basically, though Facebook and Google got in there. So I guess it was the big three. There were some funny moments, but I hope that no one ever tries that again. Mike's Daily Podcast. If I knew that Julie Bowen was one of my friends, I would use FaceTime more. Mike's often. Daily Julie Bowen Podcast. And so, yeah! You know, that Apple kicked out AT&T on the stock exchange thingy. Isn't that interesting? And what I just said, no idea what I just said. Look who just walked in. Hi, Mike. It's Benita, the rodeo queen. Hi, how you doing?
And the Disgruntled Fiddle Player tell you what.
What?
I will explain to you what you just said. What y'all said was Apple is taking over the world and we should fear for our lives.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all the business, newspaper, magazines, and websites were saying that, so I thought I would repeat it.
What, are you like a parrot? You just repeat the talking points of the mass hysteria media?
Okay. Look who else just walked in.
Oh, Mike, I make the root beer. I'm the brewmaster.
What's the latest root beer you made today, Brewmaster?
I made a special spring forward root beer.
Oh, good. Yeah, we got a spring forward tonight, which is, well, you know, maybe that's something you do every night because you're limber and you're newlyweds. I don't know. But yeah, springing forward. So the hour will suddenly, like this hour that you're listening to the show, let's say you're listening to the show on Saturday, this hour will be an hour ahead tomorrow. And if you're listening to this show on Sunday or ever after, you're thinking, I should shut up now. But then there wouldn't be a podcast, so I need to say a little something. And that is whales. This is fascinating. Post-menopausal whales. Female killer whales live long and productive lives after they stop having babies, according to Reuters. This plays a critical role in the survival of the pod. Now you know why I like this story. Podcasts. As they lead the hunt for food, particularly in lean times. Yes, the female killer whales lead the hunt for food. This according to a study that was released yesterday. Resembling in many ways their human counterparts, female killer whales breed between the ages of 14 and 40, but they can survive well into their 90s, while male orcas, by contrast, die much younger, rarely making it past 40. Oh boy. If I was a whale, I'd have 4 more years to live. Whoop-de-doy. Killer whales join short-finned pilot whales and humans as the only species in which the females can live decades after menopause. In that time, the female killer whales, not burdened by childbearing, pass on important information to the other whales. According to the study, they say... Sorry. I was choking on... I was eating a little bit of whale blubber earlier, and no. The value gained from the wisdom of elders can help explain why female resident killer whales and humans continue to live long after they have stopped reproducing, the study says. To study the orca's behavior, marine mammal researchers from York and Exeter universities in Britain and the Center for Whale Research in Washington State analyzed 751 hours of video of killer whales taken over 9 years on their annual Pacific Ocean salmon migrations off British Columbia and Washington State. The older female whales were more likely to lead group movement compared to reproductively aged females, the study says. Specifically, they are the leaders as the whales forage in groups for Chinook salmon, which is their primary food source. And when things are tough, the older females step up even more. Leadership by post-reproductive aged females is especially prominent in difficult years when salmon abundance is low, says the report. This finding is critical because salmon abundance drives both mortality and reproductive success. Which reminds me I need to eat more salmon. Mark, salmon's good for you. It's got the healthy fats. Thank you, Benita. Mark, I don't understand whales. They're like big, and they're underwater, and then they sing that weird music. They're kind of strange. But they're so beautiful and majestic. Yeah, Mark, but then Michael Jackson sang that song about them. Oh, yeah. Will you be there? And then the whale jumps out of the tank, doesn't he? I never actually saw Free Willy, so... Oh, you're missing out. Bye, I gotta go. Bunch of VHS to watch. Oh, VHS to watch on her VCR. That's so wonderful. So what do you think about that, about wheels and whales and Modern Family doing their entire show on a tablet? Did you see that episode? Did it get annoying? You know, they did the thing to try to make it more exciting was they were like zooming in on specific parts of the tablet. So you would see like Julie Bowen's character would open up like a window to talk to her family, you know, each character. I have to hand it to them though. You know how Modern Family has like, 9 characters? Like the parents and then their kids. Each character had something going on, even though the show took place entirely on a tablet. Everybody had something to say that was interesting in some sort of way. Like even Manny, he's the son of Sofia Sofia Vergara. Ay, Manny! IG! Manny had to show his disgust that Phil Dunphy's kid was getting a mohawk, and Sofia Vergara's character was giving him the mohawk because she used to be a hairstylist. Yeah, funny stuff! Go watch it. What did you think of it? Email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. I read your comments on the section emails from email. Also email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show or if you would like to sponsor the show, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. And by the way, the answer to oh my gosh, I just got distracted seeing Sofia Vergara's pictures on the internet. Okay, let's close that window because I need to get this podcast done. The answer to the Mike Scavenger hunt the other day was Fenton's. Congratulations to you if you got that right. And what do you think of daylight savings time? The springing forward stinks, doesn't it, Brewmaster?
Yeah, that's because we gain like a whole day.
No, we lose an hour.
What?
Yeah, it's rubbish. You can also check out the website, mikesdailypodcast.com, which has the blog, the daily podcast picture, all my past interviews, and links to where to listen to the show on Player FM, Spreaker, Mixcloud, Podomatic, Stitcher, TuneIn, SoundCloud, YouTube, and iTunes. Subscribe to the show in iTunes, and you can comment on the show and rate the show. If you do that, more people find out about us, and we don't languish in obscurity. Like Sean and Gus from the TV show Psych were talking about earlier at the beginning of the show. You can also tell your friends about this show on Facebook. Like the Facebook page, and when I post a new show, share it with your friends, and more people will find out about us. Follow us on Twitter and retweet when I post a new show, and that helps us find more listeners. You can also find us on Instagram, Yelp, and Tumblr. Links to all those at mikesdailypodcast.com. And if you're going to buy anything on Amazon, go through the link there at mikesdailypodcast.com to buy whatever it is, because that helps support the show too at mikesdailypodcast.com.
It's Bison Bentley's Do You Know Dat?
Hey, this is Bison Bentley, and Mike Matthews has a couple of stories that'll make you want to ask yourself, do you know that? Do you know that? Do you know that? Bison Bentley says something that is, all right, let's just be honest. It's annoying. And he says it, but it is a good question to ask because we need to know what we know. Right, so that's why this is Do You Know Dat? Some fascinating things you probably didn't know is basically what I'm trying to say. And first, we begin with sex.
Can't take much more, girl. I'm losing control. I want your sex.
There is a PhD by the name of Catherine Hakim. She's a social scientist, and she wrote a book called Erotic Capital. Ooh, that sounds like a fun place to visit. But she says it's that certain something, a combo of liveliness, sex appeal, physical beauty, fitness, charm, and style. And she says erotic capital can be learned. This according to Men's Health magazine. There are 5 things to know. Number 1, liveliness. Whether you're grabbing the mic at karaoke or just cracking jokes all night, your good vibes are contagious, says sex therapist Brandy Engler. We feel a sense of self-expansion around people who are enthusiastic about life. So spice up your dates. Invite her along for an activity you feel passionate about, even if it's bass fishing. Do something that makes you feel full of life, she says. Number 2, physical beauty. Sure, genes matter. Facial symmetry, masculinity, skin tone, all provide erotic capital, says Hakim. In a 2014 study in Psychological Science, women favored men with wide faces for short-term relationships, perhaps because they saw them as more dominant. Bad genes? Don't worry, try this plan. Enhance your jaw. Facial hair is male makeup. It covers flaws and enhances assets. A 5 o'clock shadow highlights a good chin. A short beard can create the illusion of symmetry and add bulk to a weak chin. Number 3, sexual attractiveness. There's no Instagram filter to help you achieve this. Sexual attractiveness involves not only the shape of your body, but also the way you move and talk, says Hakim. Fake a V-shaped torso, widely considered the male ideal. With this trick from Sarah Lee, the executive creative director for Bombfell. Yeah, I know, I was thinking of the cheesecake too. A clothing subscription service. Wear a light-colored t-shirt with a thick stripe across the shoulders and chest. This brings your eye upward, she says. In a UK study, women rated men as more attractive when the men's posture conveyed dominance, sitting with their arms and legs open while gesticulating and touching a nearby person, versus just sitting there with arms crossed and legs together. Number 4, conversational skills. Tall guys naturally seem charismatic, a recent Dutch study found, but you can fake it if you need to. Stand with your shoulders back, open your arms, and look people in the eye when telling a story. Motivation still matters. Target your flirting. Guys who flirted just for fun were viewed as less attractive than guys whose motives were genuine toward the women they chatted up. According to a recent study in sex roles, it's about making her feel special, says Rachel D'Alto, the author of Flirt Fearlessly. And number 5, social presentation. Think of it this way, Don Draper wise, dressing and styling your hair in a way that conveys social status and style. Rock the side part. In a 2013 Great Clips survey, 60% of people said the classic side part is among the greatest men's hairstyles of all time. Opt for a fade, which keeps the look clean but maintains your natural hairline. And what about people like me? Thinning on top? Go short. Get a super tight fade on the side to balance the missing hair. And upgrade your suits. Men who wear custom suits give better first impressions than those in off-the-rack attire, according to a British study. But department store suits can fit you if they were tailored just for you. Just make sure your shoulder pads don't extend past your shoulders, the jacket hits you about halfway down your butt, and you can comfortably sit down. You know that is Sylvester Stallone's brother, right? Frank Stallone. I thought that song would fit this story because it has to do with fitness, and that song was from the movie Staying Alive with John Travolta. It can be hard to separate fitness fact from fiction, especially when you're just starting out. Misinformation from unreliable sources and the internet creates confusion. Here's what top experts say about some common fitness myths and the real deal. This according to the Costco Connection, that magazine they throw at you as you're trying to escape with your huge steel shopping cart out that small opening of the store, which has always a gazillion people trying to fumble for their Costco cards to show the Gestapo at the front of the store. Oh, look at the huge flat screen TVs. Here's some myths. Doing 100 crunches a day practically guarantees flat abs. The real deal? Crunches improve the abdominal muscle strength and muscle endurance if you do a lot of them, says Neil Pyre, a personal trainer and fellow of the American College of Sports Medicine. But ultimately, your body fat level dictates whether or not your abs are flat. A firm-toned midsection involves reducing your overall body fat by cutting calories, in addition to getting regular exercise. Another myth, skip weights and do only cardio if weight loss is your main goal. The real deal, weight training, also called resistance training, is a must if you want to lose body fat and keep it off. Resistance training helps preserve lean tissue or muscle during calorie deficits, which you have to achieve if you are going to lose fat over any length of time. Since muscle burns more calories at rest, weight training also boosts calorie burning even when you're not working out. Another myth, if you don't sweat a lot, you didn't work out really hard enough. The real deal? How much you sweat depends on the type of workout and your training goal rather than how hard you're working. Powerlifters, for example, who train hard and heavy need ample rest and recovery between sets and tend not to sweat as much as someone who routinely does a high-intensity workout with little rest between sets. Your environment also influences how much you'll sweat, how hot it is. Plus, some people simply sweat more than others. Sadly, that's the case with me. And the final myth, you should be sore the next day after a good workout. The real deal, soreness occurs when you are first starting a program, changing a workout, or increasing the amount of weight or number of exercises you are doing. You're likely not allowing yourself enough recovery time if you are sore on a regular basis. Avoid working out the same muscles on back-to-back days to give yourself time to recover. REO Speedwagon. I didn't even know they did a music video to this. Wow. It has a woman in a business suit typing on like a really weird typewriter and watching a TV screen. Was this a prediction of the future back there in the 80s? But this has to do with not so much letters, but cards. And specifically, the very modern e-cards, when you care, but not enough to buy a stamp. Now, a combination of deadpan humor and old-timey drawings has transformed some e-cards into the hallmark of the web, with 7 million unique visitors a month. How else could you deliver a romantic note like, just sending you a preemptive apology since Valentine's Day can't possibly live up to your expectations? Co-founder and head writer Brooke Lundy designed the cards to be the antithesis of the musical color bomb e-cards of yesteryear. He issues a daily assignment to contributors and matches the wittiest responses to anachronistic illustrations culled from image databases. Now, Wired magazine asked Lundy some questions, like what's the some e-card style? Sarcastic? Cynical? Well, Lundy says, I'd say honest. It's probably closer to Curb Your Enthusiasm and Seinfeld because it's a bit absurd, too. We like to play off the minutia of life and call attention to it in a funny way. When you're being honest, stuff comes out that people usually don't talk about because it's dark, dirty, or inappropriate. Honest more than funny. Well, that's the goal. Does everyone really hate Red Sox fans? That's the fact-checking we're always doing. If you nail the honesty, you don't have to work too hard at the make it funny part. He also says the cards are free, but they make money from the ones they create for advertisers like Ford and Clorox. He says, we have made them for shows like The Walking Dead and Modern Family. We combine the tone of some e-cards with the voice or plot points of the show and release them online the same way as our other cards. And how many cards do they create a day? Well, Lundy says we aim for 6 to 10, but it depends on the day and what's happening. E-cards about Obamacare, no one cares about. But if Miley Cyrus does something crazy, that can give us fodder for the day. Kim Kardashian getting engaged, he says that was a gold mine. And one of my favorite some e-cards is a picture of a woman talking to a guy, and she's saying, I hope your recently cleared browser history means you've been shopping for my Valentine's Day present. Aria Speedwagon. As we go outside of Cafe Anyway, here at the last place on earth located somewhere in Castro Valley, California, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast. And I can't fight this feeling anymore.
And here's today's podcast picture.
The picture is from Poplar Beach. It's a very popular beach with me and Basil the Boxer. Oh, it makes him so happy. He's playing with me right now. Oh, good boy, good boy. Oh, not my pant legs. Oh, now I'm wearing shorts. Ay, mi pantalones. And now it is time for
Mike's absolutely useless review.
Tablet. I had to take a tablet after watching this episode of Modern Family. Mike, you already told us about what you thought of that Modern Family episode. I did? Yeah, Mike. I've been home watching VHS copies of Saved by the Bell for the past, 20 minutes or so. And I just got to tell you right now, it was hot!
Darling, you completely messed up her name.
I know, honey. Wow, you two are such cute little lovebirds. I think you guys are going to spring forward tonight, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I just hope I don't get a cramp.
Next show, we're going to bring you the wonderful... we haven't done this segment in a long time. It's called Mike on Mobile. And I'm going to actually be in San Francisco, in the city, at Vinyl Coffee. And I'm going to be speaking to a wonderful a duet. Well, it's an artist, a singer-songwriter named D. Edward, and the lovely Jenna Lavoie, both singer-songwriters, and they have paired together to do a song. We're going to hear that song and also hear some of D. Edward's stuff. But I'm going to be talking to them in San Francisco, so there's going to be a lot of, background noise, which is highly unusual on this show.
Mike, was that facetiousness?
That was a little bit of facetious.
Wow! I made a facetious root beer.
I've drank much of it. Of it I have drank, my friend. Do not despair. So yeah, we'll talk to them, and then we'll also hear from Adam Rutabaga, Valentino, and Bison Bentley.
And now, a big thanks to our sponsor.
You see them at mikesdailypodcast.com on the upper left-hand side of the page. That is Click It Ticket, a huge selection of tickets to the hottest concert tours. And right now, if you want to get 5% off of your purchase of some concert tickets, just go to that, click on that banner that you see there at mikesdailypodcast.com and type in the promo code Mike's Daily. You'll get 5% off your concert tickets, because the concert ticket season is really starting to happen. I know, let's see, recently we had Hozier playing in Oakland. Take me to church, da-da-da, this is not a Christian pop song, and I hope you want to sing along. So look for that link there at the top of mikesdailypodcast.com, and you can also just go to clickitticket.com.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye.
Well, that show's over with. Oh my gosh, Basil, what are you doing to my Tiffany Amber Thiessen poster? No!